So if you've been following me, you know that actually my first video was about the Lawson murders that happened in 1929 in Germantown, North Carolina. I've gotten a little bit better at editing, so I didn't like the first one because the pictures didn't line up, and I'm going to try to make this under 10 minutes. So let's get this party started. So for reference, I wanted y'all to see the family portrait and the members of the family. As you can see, the eldest was Arthur, 19, Marie, 17, Charles was 43, better known as Charlie, and that's what I'm going to call him in this video. Fanny, 37, and of course she's holding baby Mary Lou. And then you got James, who is age 4, Mary Bell, age 7, Raymond, 2, and little Carrie at age 12. So it all started on Christmas Day, 1929. Whew, this is a hard one. Charlie Lawson, the father, he completely slaughtered his entire family. He actually sent out his eldest son, Arthur, to run and do some errands. Well, back then it was horse and buggy, and well, at least for small farm owners. And Charlie knew that it would take him quite a few hours before he would return. And he also knew that Arthur was the only one who could stop what he had been planning. So this family portrait was taken just a couple of days before Charlie killed his family. There are many, theories, but one that I believe is that he impregnated his eldest daughter at the age of 17. Another sad thing is, if it was or wasn't true, her and her boyfriend were planning to run away, and he was going to say that he was the father. So this is why I think that this may have been why Charlie did what he did. But this is Marie, only at 17. Of course, this is Charles Lawson, aka Charlie. Now, there was another theory that while he was working in the fields, he was using a plow, and it got hung up on a root, and when he pulled back, it hit him in the head. A lot of the, citizens of the town thought that this could have been the reason why he did what he did. Keep in mind, the community saw him as a well-to-do farmer. Him and his family were very respected in the town. No one saw it coming. The first two of his children that he murdered was Carrie and Mary Bell. They had recently spent the night at their uncle's house, which was just a walk away. He waited behind this barn, and as soon as they came and passed it, he shot them both with a shotgun and then dragged their bodies into the tobacco barn. And just for good measure, to make sure that they were deceased, he then bashed them in the head with the butt of the shotgun. He then proceeded to their home, where Fanny was on the porch collecting firewood. He shot her right there. Marie was in the house with the other children, and of course, she heard the shotgun blast, and she screamed. Next thing she knew, the door was coming open, and her dad shot her right there on the spot. The clock on the mantle even stopped because of the boom of the shotgun. After hearing the shotgun, the two young boys, Raymond and James, ran to hide. He found them, of course. Raymond was actually trying to hide under the stove. He shot him, and his body was half in and half under. And then, of course, he found James and did the same thing. And then finally, his 4-month-old, Mary Lou, he bludgeoned her to death in her crib with the butt of the shotgun. When the eldest son, Arthur, returned, the cops were not far behind. All the bodies were found with their arms crossed and a rock under their head to signify a pillow, is what we assume. Of course, Arthur, the community, the cops were just in utter shock at what they found. And at the time, it had snowed nearly 5 feet. So the carriage and horses that they had to carry the body out and to put them on were over 200 feet away. So the officers and Arthur carried each body out and put them on the cart. One officer even broke down while carrying out the little 4-month-old, dropped to his knees, started bawling. Another officer had to come up and take the child from him, and then he began to vomit. That's how gruesome the scene was. Now, during this entire time, they couldn't find Charlie anywhere. Hours had went by, and finally, they heard a gunshot. And of course, as you can imagine, Charlie finally took his own life, but it took hours. The town of Germantown paid for the funerals, and everyone was buried in a white coffin, except for Charlie. I'm still amazed that they put him in the same plot. And they buried baby Mary Lou in the same coffin with her mother, Fanny. Now, this is something I learned recently. I did not know that they buried him in the same plot as the rest of the family, but he was buried with them. And the ending of the story also gets very sad. Of course, after the massacre of his family, Arthur here is pictured as age 35. Of course, he couldn't handle it. He became an alcoholic, and he died in a tragic car accident at the early age of 35. And he was buried directly behind the family plot. So this is the end of the Lawson family murders. There has been a movie made about it, but my favorite is the book, and it's called Bloody Christmas, Merry Christmas, and I really recommend you read it. It took me just a couple of hours, and I read the whole thing, and that was back when I was 17, many a year ago. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video, the revision of it, and if there's any other stories you would like for me to research and make a video about, please comment below, and don't forget to like and follow. Until next time, see you on the flip side.